The Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you.
Jesus said to his disciples, "The person who is trustworthy in very small matters is also trustworthy in great ones. And the person who is dishonest in very small matters is also dishonest in great ones. If therefore you are not trustworthy with dishonest wealth, who will trust you with true wealth? If you are not trustworthy with that belongs to another, who will give you what is yours? No servant can serve two masters. He will either hate one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise be to God. There was a story of a man who had both money and power and status, yet he always felt lonely and lack of meaning in life. So he went to see an old priest for some advice. After listening to the man's story, the priest brought him to his window and told him, "Look out there and tell me what you see." The man looked and said, "I see lots of people out there." Then the priest brought the man back inside the room and showed him a mirror on the wall. Not asking mirror on the wall, who is more beauty than whatever. Not that story. But the priest told him, "Now you look in the mirror and tell me what you see." The man looked and said, "I only see myself in there." And the priest told the man, "The mirror on the wall and the glass window was made from the same material, glass. But the mirror was different because in the back of the mirror was covered with a layer of silver. As long as the silver is still attached to the back of the mirror, you cannot see anybody else through it, but you can see your own reflection. But when the silver is gone, you can see people through it, just like through the window." Now our eyes, our hearts, and our souls are like the mirrors through which we can see the world and other people. But if we attach ourselves too much to material things, if the back of our souls and our hearts and our minds are silver or gold or money, status, we can only see ourselves. We can only see the reflection of our own ego. We only do things for ourselves. So the first thing I'd like to share with you today is that let us not fill ourselves up with selfishness and pride because of our attachments to material things and to money. But instead, let us live according to the word of Jesus today, to be able to see, to be able to love God and to love our neighbors. And this leads us to what Jesus told us in the gospel. We cannot seek and serve both God and money at the same time, because we will be either be devoted to one and despise the other. This truth from Jesus can be seen in our daily lives too. If parents only focus on work and on their personal pleasures, they will not have enough time for the care of their children. And on the other hand, when children focus too much on games, on fashion, on celebrities, and on their own appearance, they will surely spend less time for studying and for housework. And when we go out there to hang out with one another and enjoy ourselves, we tend to be very generous in spending for tips and for luxuries in order to show off and to impress strangers. Yet when we go home to those who live with us, to our loved ones, to our own family members, or when we go to our home church, when we go to God, our Creator, we tend to calculate, we tend to procrastinate, we tend to ignore. We are often tempted to focus on building up our own image to other people out there by being generous at the places, on the occasions, and to the people who do not actually need our generosity. Yet we tend to calculate. We tend to be overly judgmental at the places, on the occasions, and to the people that God invites us to be generous to share, and to serve. So the second thing I'd like to share with you today is that let us put our priority in life in the right order at the places, on the occasion, and to the people that will help us to practice the commandments of loving God and of loving one another in the best way possible, rather than simply act on our mood and on our own pride. And in many places now, if we drive along I-10 to Palm Springs, for example, we will see a lot of wind turbines to generate electricity from wind power, right? Because they said wind is free and is always ready and is clean. And the electricity created from the wind turbines can be shared to the network, to faraway places. Our life in this world is somewhat similar to those wind turbines. Money is like the wind, and our hands are like the turbine blades. We can use money as our temporal means to support our lives and to support one another. Like the turbines generate electricity from the wind, but the wind doesn't stay. The wind blows from places to places. Money also doesn't stay. When we die, it goes to other people. If the turbine blades rotate too fast in the wind, trying to catch too much wind, not only that they don't generate much electricity, but the turbine inside may also become overloaded and broken. For us too, the more we focus on making money, on acquiring more and more, the more likely our life is to be overloaded, to be broken. Money and material things in this world are like the wind, as I said. It blows from place to place, from one person to another. And we are called by Jesus today to share and not to hold, to let go rather than to accumulate. So brothers and sisters, on this 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time, as usual, I would like to invite you to reflect on the 3 points that I have just shared with you. First, let us not fill ourselves up with selfishness and pride because of our attachments to money, to material things, to power. But instead, let us live according to God's words, to be able to see and to love God and one another. Second, let us put our priority in life in the right order, in the places, on the occasions, and for the people that will help us to practice the commandments of loving God and loving one another in the best way possible, rather than to live just according to our mood and our own pride. And third, material things in this world are like the wind. It blows from place to place, from people to people. And we are called to share and not to hold, to let go rather than to accumulate. Don't cover our lives with material things, but rather make it transparent with love. Focus on the places, the occasions, and the people that help us to love God and to love one another more. And money comes and goes like the wind. So let us make the best out of it to share and not to hold. May God, who has begun a good work in us, also bring it to fruitful completion. Amen.